Whitaker from Newtown, Connecticut, a packaging science major, legalization of organ trade.
Imagine that you find out that you need a kidney transplant, but there are no donors available. Wouldn't you like to have the option of purchasing a kidney? The creation of a legal market for the trade of human organs in the United States would bring a plethora of benefits, like creating jobs, saving lives, and decreasing the black market that exists for the trade already. I feel incredible because I've researched and familiarized myself with both sides of this argument and have prepared reasons to share with you for which I feel the trade should be legalized. The creation of this market would reach many more people than just the organ donors and recipients. Its effects would also have an economic impact, essentially affecting the entire country. Today I would like to tell you about why the trade should be legalized and what it could do for our country and its people. I'd like to begin by informing you with why our current system is problematic. Firstly, too many people die every year waiting for organ transplants. As I'm sure many of you could probably guess, the demand for organs has always been much higher than the supply, which was confirmed by Rupert Major of University of Leicester in 2008 for the McGill Journal of Medicine. What may surprise many of you, however, is that according to the Journal of Medical Ethics written by R. Kishore in 2005, is that each day, 17 people die waiting for organs, which is equivalent to 6,205 lives per year. To help you recognize what a tragedy this is, that is about the same number of deaths that would occur if the Titanic were to sink 4 times a year. Now, the reason for this high death rate, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, is that on average, the wait time for a kidney, for example, to reach its patient is 1,219 days, which is a little less than 3.5 years. 3.5 years for your body to spend degenerating. 3.5 years of not knowing whether you'll even get an organ at all. The wait for an organ to help you win your fight becomes a battle in and of itself. As you can see, the current system is doing no favors for people individually, nor is it doing so collectively in our economy either, and too many Americans are in poverty. In the United States, wealth is distributed wildly unevenly, with 80% of the population holding just 7% of the nation's wealth, as reported by Dr. Dale Archer for Forbes magazine in 2013. Allowing people to sell their organs for monetary profit would help lessen this alarming gap, pulling American families out of debt and overall raising their standard of living. We live in a capitalist economy, and people are driven by money. They're going to be more apt to sell their liver, part of their liver, a kidney, a lung, skin grafts, what have you, for a sum of money. In fact, people are already doing this by taking part in the black market that exists despite its illegality. People are taking matters into their own hands and employing underqualified and or corrupt doctors to perform their surgeries, often using organs that have not been properly screened. They're often also outsourcing to other countries with lower medical standards, such as Mexico, taking jobs away from our economy. People are often worsening their conditions by taking part in this black market, both financially and medically. Now that I've identified the problems with this system, I'd like to offer you a solution, which would be to create a legal market for the trade of human organs in the United States. Now, by definition, in layman's terms, a market is simply the operation of supply and demand. And our current system is sorely lacking in supply, and we have a huge shortage of organs. For monetary profit, people would be more likely to give up an organ, thus decreasing the shortage. People are going to be more likely to sign up for the organ donor list if they believe they would benefit financially from it. It's a big decision for someone to decide to give up one of his or her organs, one that requires a great deal of consideration. If sweetening this deal a little bit with some money helps speed up the process, then so be it for the sake of the person waiting. Thus, creating a legal market for this trade would dramatically decrease the wait period. And in fact, according to an article written for The Guardian by Saeed Dagan in 2012, it states that in Iran, where organ trade is currently legal, waiting lists were eliminated in 1999, meaning that essentially the wait period for an organ is non-existent. Having to wait a shorter amount of time in the hospital means there's a shorter amount of time for your body to spend getting sicker, saving your life. And if the medical benefits are not enough to convince you, from an economic standpoint, the longer someone's in the hospital, the longer they're not in the workforce. Shorter waiting period for organs is better for the economy. Speaking of the economy, the creation of a legal market for the trade of human organs organs in the United States would create jobs. There would be an increased number of people having transplants, resulting in a correlating increased need for doctors to perform those surgeries. Additionally, there would be a need for people to oversee the trade, contract lawyers, organ screeners, etc., jobs that don't currently exist in the black market. And while it is the belief of many that the creation of a market usually goes hand in hand with the correlating creation of its black market, for this particular trade, the black market is already in existence. That is an indicator in itself of the desperate need we have for this trade. However, the black market that is currently the only source for organs for sale in the United States would be diminished by the legalization of this market. There would be fewer people resorting to the black market to get their organs, creating a smaller payoff for those to participate in it. The lack of regulation that once drew people to the market before will now become a deterrent to many as they realize they have safer, more legal options. And while many of you may be concerned about the people who cannot afford to purchase organs, I assure you that the creation of this market will not create an unfair preference towards those who are more financially well off. This is because, according to the organ donation transplantation statistics written for the National Kidney Foundation as of January 2014, it states that most organ donors are actually related to the recipient of that organ. And as I'm confident you'll all agree, many people are not likely to make a family member pay for something that is vital for their survival. And for those who are not fortunate enough to have a loved one as a match, there will also always be charities and organizations raising money for causes exactly like these to help people have access to organs. If your community were to find out that you were in need of an organ to live, I'm sure it wouldn't take anybody more than a few dollars each to help you reach your goal. Safety, shorter waiting periods, medical benefits, economic benefits, the list of positive impacts for the legalization of this trade is certainly not brief. The legalization of the market for the sale and purchase of human organs in the United States would create jobs, save lives, and decrease the black market